Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news tonight. Your one stop here on Rajya Sabha TV where we get you the day's top stories from India and across the world. Let's start with the headlines. India successfully puts into orbit its seventh and final navigation satellite, the IRNSS-1G. President, Vice President and Prime Minister congratulate the ISRO scientists. Supreme Court to hear PIL next week, seeking police action against Congress leaders Sonia Gandhi, Manmohan Singh and Ahmed Patel over allegations in the Augusta Westland chopper scam. President Pranab Mukherjee receives a warm welcome in Papua New Guinea. India delegation to sign agreements in fields of health, agriculture and information technology. And more bitter verbal exchanges in the U.S. presidential contest. Democrat Bernie Sanders outrightly mocks Republican frontrunner Donald Trump, claims American people will not bring him to the White House. Our top story this evening, India today became an independent service provider in GPS with its successful launch of the final and last navigational satellite IRNSS-1G from the Satish Dhawan Space Centre at Sriharikota. The Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System 1G was placed into orbit by the rocket Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle or PSLV C-33.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
The IRNSS-1G, the final satellite of IRNSS series, on its way to being placed in orbit. The launch puts India in an exclusive club with a regional navigational system on par with the US-based Global Positioning System. IRNSS-1G will have a life of 12 years. Carrying two payloads for navigation and ranging, it will service users across the country and the region up to an area of 1,500 kilometers.
इसरो की पूरी टीम को हृदय से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं, उनका अभिनंदन करता हूं। इस पूरी नई टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से मिलने वाली सेवाओं को आज हमने तय किया है कि सारी व्यवस्था हमारी ये जीपीएस सिस्टम नाविक नाम से जानी जाएगी।
IRNSS applications will be primarily used in terrestrial, aerial and marine navigation. Its services will also be of help in disaster management, vehicle tracking and mapping.
इस तरह की जो पोजीशन सैटेलाइट्स हैं, अब और देशों में देखो तो शुरुआत डिफेंस से हुई है। हमारा जो है ये मतलब एक सिविल एफर्ट है। इसकी जो उपलब्धियां हैं वो जहां जहां हमें जिस तरह की ज़रूरतें हैं उसमें जा सकती हैं। तो अगर ये सिविल ज़रूरतें हैं या डिफेंस ज़रूरतें हैं, कहीं पे भी पोजीशन रिलेटेड जो भी हमें ज़रूरतें हैं उसमें जा सकती हैं।
IRNSS is an independent regional navigation system with 9 satellites. 7 are in orbit while 2 on the ground are on standby. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And let's head on to now what happened in Parliament today. Rajya Sabha gave its nod to two bills, the Constitution SC Order Amendment Bill 2016 and the Industries Development and Regulation Amendment Bill 2015. Both the bills were passed unanimously by the upper house.
The upper house on Thursday gave its approval to two important bills. First, the Constitution SC Order Amendment Bill 2016, which deals with the inclusion of some more castes in the scheduled castes list, was passed unanimously by the House. However, some members expressed concerns over the problems faced by people from backward classes. The government, however, assured all help to the needy and promised to take strong action against the culprits.
आपसे निवेदन यही कर रहे हैं कि आप जो है हट छोड़िए और उत्तर प्रदेश के चाहे बिहार के फिशरमैन कमेटी के लोग हों, चाहे नाई हों, चाहे धानुक हों, उन सब लोगों के साथ न्याय करिए।
सामाजिक समानता को बढ़ाने हेतु बजट बढ़ाए जाने व पूर्ण रूप बजट खर्च की आवश्यकता है। साथ ही साथ अनुसूचित जाति के वर्ग के बंधुओं को उनके प्रमोशन में और आरक्षण में लाभ देने की आवश्यकता है और सरकार के द्वारा जो कुछ क्षेत्र तबके वंचित रह गए हैं, उन वंचित क्षेत्र तबकों के बारे में भी विचार करते हुए संपूर्ण प्रस्ताव विधेयक लाकर उनको अनुसूचित जातियों की श्रेणी में शामिल करने की आवश्यकता है।
दलित क्रिश्चियंस वांट टू बी ट्रीटेड एज दलित्स and Dalit Muslims want to be treated as Dalits, and they also want reservation.
वर्तमान सरकार अनुसूचित जाति वर्ग के हित संरक्षण के प्रति प्रतिबद्ध है। आज से नहीं है, जब से जनसंघ हमारा बना था तब से है।
The Industries Development and Regulation Amendment Bill 2015 was also cleared unanimously by the upper house after some suggestions by some members.
In its 158th report, elaborately studied and advised. But based on that, what are the larger ramifications that we are going to come, and what sort of litigations that will be before the courts has to be kept in the mind while making the enactment.
Talking about portable or non-portable, they only go looking at that particular description. And therefore, I suppose Member Ramakrishnan should have a clarity now that this has been further explained. I'm also grateful to the BJD member Bhupender Singh ji, who supported this amendment. I too fully take his point that cooperative federalism can better work with greater execution, better execution of many of these acts.
Soon after, proceedings were adjourned for the day. Vishal Daya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
But the upper house also witnessed disruptions over Subramanian Swamy's remarks during a discussion on the Aligarh Muslim University. As a result, for the second day in a row, his remarks were expunged.
2 days into his role as Rajya Sabha member, BJP MP Subramanian Swamy saw his comments expunged for the second time. Reacting to his remarks, Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad sarcastically said Swamy did not know the difference between words used on streets and inside Parliament.
It is only his second day in the Parliament. In second day, in 2 days, you have expunged twice.
Yeah.
Now there are 365 days.
Yeah.
How many times you are going to expunge his words? Because he doesn't. This man, though he has aged, but he has not known the difference between the street words and the Parliament words.
Opposition members objected to Swamy's remarks after his name was brought up while discussing Aligarh Muslim University in the House.
जयप्रकाश के नेतृत्व में एक नए सूर्य का उदय हुआ और उस वक्त के बहुत सारे लोग इस सदन में बैठे हैं, आदरणीय सुब्रमण्यम स्वामी जी जैसे, जिन्होंने घोषणा पत्र में ये वायदा किया था कि हम अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी का अक़लियती किरदार बहाल करेंगे, लेकिन 1971 में श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी ने उसे बहाल किया.
Deputy Chairman P.J. Kurin expunged Swamy's comments and also warned him about indulging in unnecessary provocations in the future.
Now, why do you provoke? Expunge. That is expunge. Why do you provoke?
What did I say?
Why do you provoke?
They interrupt me?
Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court will hear a petition against Congress leaders accused in the multi-million-dollar Augusta Westland chopper deal scam. While Congress leaders are facing the heat of those allegations, political parties have also questioned Prime Minister Narendra Modi's silence over the issue. There are also demands for a probe into the political angle.
The Supreme Court will hear a PIL seeking registration of FIR against Congress President Sonia Gandhi and former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh in the Augusta Westland chopper case next week. The government on Wednesday said it will seek a report on the deal from the CBI and initiate the move to blacklist Augusta Westland and its parent company, Finmeccanica. The centre claims that the previous UPA dispensation did not ban the scandal-tainted company.
We have filed a petition and requested the court today to list the matter next week. Court is agreed. It's a matter of Augusta Westland corruption helicopter case.
The political blame game meanwhile continues among the two sides.
इतना ही पूछना चाहता हूं कि इटली की कोर्ट में घूस देने वाले जेल में है तो घूस लेने वाले कहां हैं? उस वक्त कौन शासन में था? सीधी बात है, यूपीए की सरकार के जो शासन में लोग थे वो जिम्मेदार है और उन लोगों ने इस सत्य को उजागर करना चाहिए.
सरासर बेबुनियाद है, झूठ है और शरारतपूर्ण है. दूसरी बात, अमित शाह जी को नरेंद्र मोदी जी से कहना चाहिए, प्रधानमंत्री इन दोनों अच्छे दोस्त हैं, कि वो नाम सामने लाएं. सरकार उनकी है, कांग्रेस कि सरकार ने, यूपीए की सरकार ने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को रद्द किया था, ब्लैक लिस्टिंग का प्रोसेस शुरू किया था।
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal also jumped into the controversy, demanding CBI raids against the Congress leaders involved in the scam. The CPI also want a thorough probe into the VVIP chopper scam.
BJP has any credible evidence to accuse UPA government headed by Mr. Manmohan Singh, Defence Minister Mr. A. K. Antony? BJP should come forward with credible evidence.
जो सरकार पिछली थी वो बदल गई है, नई सरकार है, तो जो ट्रेजरी बेंचेस रूलिंग पार्टी के जो लोग हैं उनसे मेरा ये कहना है कि आप जांच करिए, आप पार्लियामेंट में किस बात के लिए उठा रहे हैं?
CBI had in 2013 registered a case in connection with the alleged bribes paid by the firm to Indians to clinch the deal for 12 helicopters to ferry VVIPs, including the President and the Prime Minister. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Congress President Sonia Gandhi will lead a loktantra, bachao yatra from Jantar Mantar to Parliament on the 6th of May to protest against the ruling BJP. The Congress is protesting the President's rule in Uttarakhand. The state has been witnessing a political crisis for almost a month now, with the Supreme Court on Wednesday staying the High Court order saying that President's rule will continue in Uttarakhand. The court also framed 7 tough questions to the centre during the hearing. The court also asked whether the disqualification of the MLAs by the MLAs by the Speaker was relevant for the purposes of invoking President's rule under Article 356. The Apex Court fixed the 3rd of May for further hearing of the case. In other news, President Pranab Mukherjee is in Papua New Guinea on a 2-day bilateral visit. He was welcomed at the airport by Deputy Prime Minister Leo Dion and other ministers. He was also accorded a ceremonial welcome at the airport, and this is the first ever visit of an Indian head to the country. During his stay, Mukherjee will meet the Governor-General of PNG and visit the Bomana War Cemetery to pay respect to soldiers killed during World War II. He will also address the Indian community and deliver a speech at the PNG University. The two sides are also likely to sign agreements in the fields of health, agriculture and information technology. Papua New Guinea has large natural resources of oil, gas and minerals, and India will be looking into these areas for cooperation between the two countries. And now let's get you all the election-related news in our segment Verdict 2016. Campaigning for the 5th phase of elections in West Bengal ended today. 53 constituencies spread across districts of South 24 Parganas, Hooghly and Kolkata South will go to polls in the 5th phase on Saturday. Out of 349 candidates in fray, at least 43 are crorpatis and 67 have disclosed criminal cases against themselves. The Election Commission has deployed more than 2 police observers in each district for this phase to increase vigilance. Among the prominent leaders, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee will be facing Congress leader Deepa Das Munshi and Chandra Bose from BJP from the Bhawanipur constituency. Meanwhile, in Kerala, the former Chief Minister and CPM stalwart V.S. Achyutanandan campaigned for LDF candidate M. Swaraj today, attacking the ruling United Democratic Front. Achyutanandan accused the ruling UDF of rampant corruption in the state. Filing of nominations has begun for assembly elections in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and prominent state leaders including BJP State Chief T. Soundarajan filed her nomination papers in Chennai. And in Kerala, cricketer turned politician Srisanth, Professor Thuravur Vishambaran were among the candidates who filed their nomination papers today. The single-phase polling in both states are scheduled to take place on the 16th of May, and counting of votes will be on the 19th. And now let's take you through the other national news updates in Nationwide. A few days after 6 people were killed in 2 separate incidents of fire in Bihar, the state government has issued an advisory telling people not to cook or conduct any religious activity between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. in rural areas. Around 1,000 houses were gutted in the blaze and 4 people died in a fire in Darbhanga district on the 24th of April. Lobsang Sangye, the political leader of Tibetans in exile, has been re-elected to convince the international community to renew its interest in his people's plight and back his campaign for China to grant Tibet autonomy. Sangye has led the 150,000-odd Tibetan diaspora since religious leader the Dalai Lama gave up political power in 2011. He won 57% of the nearly 60,000 votes cast. Delhi police have arrested 2 employees of the Nehru Memorial Museum and Library for stealing a dagger from the museum. The arrest was made late Wednesday night after police recovered a dagger from their possession. The dagger was gifted to former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru by Saudi Arabia. With that, a quick break here. Up next, we're getting international news. Stay with us.
Ellora Caves, an unimaginable and detailed work of art. The finest example of rock cave temple in India with 34 caves. Built by the rulers of the Rashtrakuta dynasty between 350 AD and 1000 AD. Striking sculptures and murals are the hallmark of the caves. The Kailash temple is the largest monolith structure of the world, an impressive 15-feet statue of Buddha seated in 2-story structure of stupa with all the grace. It took about 5 centuries to complete the structure, made with 200,000 tons of rock.
Welcome back. Let's get to international news now. And with the US presidential election campaigns nearing its final phase, candidates are increasingly entering into verbal brawls with each other. While Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders said that Americans will not elect Donald Trump to the White House, Trump derided his rival, Ted Cruz, for naming Carly Fiorina as his vice presidential running mate. Here's more.
American people are not going to vote for Donald Trump for president because he thinks that climate change is a hoax. He thinks it's a hoax created by the Chinese, which was very confusing to me. I thought he would have thought it was a hoax created by Muslims or Mexicans.
Bernie Sanders outrightly mocking Republican frontrunner Donald Trump. That too, just days after Trump's 5-state sweep in Super Tuesday. Sanders has confidence in the American people that they will not vote Trump to the White House. The Vermont senator might have lost 4 of the 5 states that voted on Tuesday, but he was confident as he sought the votes of Indiana residents and urged them to join political revolution.
Join the 17 other states that have said it is time for a political revolution. Thank you all.
Trump, meanwhile, called himself a presumptive nominee after recent sweeping victories. He not only outlined his first foreign policy for America, but also called Barack Obama's foreign policy a complete and total disaster.
It's time to shake the rust off America's foreign policy. It's time to invite new voices and new visions into the fold, something we have to do. My foreign policy will always put the interests of the American people and American security above all else. Has to be first. Has to be. That will be the foundation of every single decision that I will make.
Trump also took potshots at his rival Ted Cruz for naming executive Carly Fiorina as his vice presidential running mate.
An extraordinary leader, my friend, and the next vice president of the United States, Carly Fiorina.
Cruz can't win. What's he doing picking vice presidents for? Can't win. Can't win. He is the first presidential candidate in the history of this country who's mathematically eliminated from becoming president, who chose a vice presidential candidate. Okay? It's a record.
Trump did not spare the Democrats either. He mocked Hillary Clinton. Treading into risky political territory, Trump also said Clinton would have little support if not for her gender. The verbal duels and mudslinging will only get worse as candidates vie for votes in the next primary in Indiana on May 3rd. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, North Korea is believed to have fired an intermediate-range ballistic missile on Thursday, but it crashed within seconds, according to neighboring South Korea. The medium-range missile reportedly had a range of over 3,000 kilometers. The apparent failure marks another setback for the North's young leader, Kim Jong-un. A similar missile launch on the 15th of April birthday of his grandfather exploded soon after the launch. The recent failure will be the second this month, and it comes amid concerns that Pyongyang might conduct a nuclear test ahead of a key ruling party meeting in May. North Korea's recent nuclear tests have raised tensions in the region. Speaking in Beijing at the Asian Security Forum known as CICA, South Korea's foreign minister called on regional powers to stop North Korea's nuclear program.
In this regard, I hope that CICA will play a special role in blocking advances in North Korea's nuclear weapons capabilities and in stopping North Korea from conducting another nuclear test. Moreover, I also hope that our CICA partners as regional countries will demonstrate their leadership in thoroughly implementing UN Security Council Resolution 2270.
With that, let's get you more international news updates in Global Buzz. A female suicide bomber blew herself up, wounding 13 people in the Turkish city of Bursa on Thursday. The attack was near the Grand Mosque and happened after afternoon prayers. Police cordoned off the blast site by an entrance to the mosque. Many of the wounded had light injuries like cuts from shattered windows. The International Consortium of Investigative Journalists have removed the name of Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif from all its news stories in connection with the Panama Papers leak. The exact cause of removing his name from the list is not known yet. Earlier, the consortium had claimed that Nawaz Sharif's family floated 4 offshore companies to park money in Panama. Philippine presidential frontrunner Rodrigo Duterte told a group of business people in Manila that he would pardon himself for mass murder if elected. Duterte made the remarks during an hour-and-a-half-long speech to the Makati Business Club. He also said that he will extend pardons to security forces who abuse human rights. China's communist-controlled legislature has passed a law imposing new regulations on foreign non-government organizations. According to this, Chinese police will have the right to cancel any activities that they judge as a threat to national security. The National People's Congress Standing Committee gave the law almost unanimous approval, with 147 votes in favor and just 1 opposing the vote. Saudi Arabia's Deputy Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has said that the nation is not yet ready to end the ban on women driving cars. He also said that the issue is not about Islam but about cultural norms. He recently said that the community still thinks that allowing women to drive will have negative consequences. Let's change tracks. Get you all the latest from the world of sports now in SportsBeat. Saina Nehwal has reached the quarterfinals of the Asia Badminton Championship after beating Thailand's Nichao Jindapal in straight games. She beat Jindapal 21-14, 21-18 to take her head-to-head record to 7-0 against a Thai player. PV Sindhu, however, suffered a narrow 21-13, 20-22, 8-21 loss to Tai Zhu Ying of Chinese Taipei. India's men's hockey team has been placed in a tough group for the Rio Olympic Games. India is pooled with defending champions Germany, European champions Netherlands and Pan American Games champions Argentina in the 16 Pool B. The Olympic flame was handed to organizers of Rio Games in Athens on Wednesday in a spectacular ceremony held at the Pan-Athenic Stadium in Athens. The flame, placed in a lantern, was handed over to the Greek Olympics Committee President Spyros Kapralos. Russia was the leading doping offender in global sport during 2014. Russia, whose participation in the Rio Athletics Olympic program is in doubt due to a doping scandal, accounted for 148 of the 1,693 failed tests recorded. Athletics and bodybuilding had the most violations with 248 and 225 respectively, followed by cycling, weightlifting, powerlifting, football, wrestling, boxing, rugby union and aquatics. An early goal by Saul Niguez gave Atletico Madrid a 1-0 victory over Bayern Munich in the first leg of the Champions League semi-final on Wednesday. 21-year-old Niguez cleared two defenders before entering the area and hitting a low, well-placed shot into the far corner in the 11th minute at the Vincent Calderon Stadium. And that's all we could pack in tonight on the News Tonight. Thanks so much for joining us.